The night sky over Beijing burned orange when the raid began. The city was silent, but every camera, every drone, every restless fan watching live from across the world knew something unimaginable was about to unfold. The police convoy moved fast through a desolate industrial area at the outskirts of the city, an area marked restricted for years. The coordinates had come from an anonymous tip, a tip signed only with 2 words: "He's alive." When the iron gates burst open, what they found inside didn't just shake the investigation, it shattered everything the world thought it knew about Yumenglong's death. The hideout that shouldn't exist. Behind those gates stood what looked like a warehouse, rusted, quiet, forgotten. But inside, officers uncovered an elaborate labyrinth: security cameras, coded locks, biometric doors, and at the center of it all, a secret chamber carved into the concrete floor. And there, glowing under blue light, was a wall covered in portraits of Menglong. Hundreds of them, different ages, different outfits, public photos, private photos, even ones never released online. But the real shock came when they switched on the monitors lining the wall. They weren't playing movies, they were looping surveillance videos. Videos showing Yumenglong's final week alive. Every movement, every visit, every breath. The man running this operation? None other than Xi, the producer who is believed to be Yumenglong's closest ally and one of the key figures behind his final film. But when interrogators stormed the underground control room, Xi didn't resist. He simply turned to them with a faint, eerie smile and said, "You're too late. I was never the boss." The fake boss theory. At first, investigators thought Xi's words were a desperate lie. But what they uncovered in the next 24 hours proved something far more sinister. Xi wasn't just a film producer. He was a decoy. The real authority behind the operation was hidden in coded contracts and offshore transfers. Dozens of shell companies pointed to a man known only by the codename Sheepernung. And here's where things twisted even further. Xi-Peng wasn't a new player. His name had already appeared years ago in connection to the 3 clans, the same secret network exposed after Yumenglong's manager's interrogation leaked. The documents showed Sheepernung had funded multiple, off-the-books projects using entertainment companies as covers. The money trail connected directly to Xi's production house. But why fake a boss? Why risk everything? Sources close to the case said Xi's job was to act as a public mask. His role was simple: take orders, execute them, and take the fall when things went wrong. And that's exactly what happened. Xi's chilling confession. During his first night in custody, Xi requested only one thing: a projector. When questioned why, he replied, "He deserves to be seen, even by the ones who killed him." Authorities allowed it. Inside the dim interrogation room, Xi turned on a small device and projected a grainy video onto the wall. It was dated just hours before Yumenglong's disappearance. The footage showed Menglong sitting in a car, rain streaking down the windows, his expression calm but cold. He was speaking to someone off camera. "You're doing this because you're afraid," he said softly. "But fear doesn't keep you safe. It just makes you cruel." Then a man's voice replied, unmistakably Xi's, "You shouldn't have gone against Xi-Peng." The room went still. Even the officers watching froze. Xi's own voice, recorded, confessing his role in the betrayal. But what he said next was even worse. He wasn't supposed to die that night, Xi whispered to investigators. He was supposed to vanish. They wanted him gone, but not gone forever. The resurrection program. Hidden deep within the warehouse files, police uncovered a folder labeled R Protocol. When decrypted, the documents revealed what appeared to be a disturbing industry project, a secret program designed to digitally replicate artists after their deaths using pre-recorded footage, AI voice mapping, and deep performance tracking. Yumenglong's entire career, every film, interview, rehearsal, had been uploaded into that system. The files included something horrifying: a 3D reconstruction of Yumenglong's face blinking in real time, powered by lines of code. The goal, apparently, was to continue his career without him. Xi claimed he didn't know the full plan. Sheepernung just said it was the future of cinema, he muttered. He said Menglong would become immortal. I didn't realize he meant by death. The shadow named Xi-Peng. Who exactly is Xi-Peng? That question has haunted investigators for months. According to leaked intelligence, Xi-Peng is not one person but a persona used by multiple powerful figures, a mask under which the real puppet masters hide. Financial records tie Xi-Peng's operations to a conglomerate with connections to politicians, real estate moguls, and several ghost directors in the Chinese film scene. Even scarier, there are rumors that Sheepernung once personally met Menglong during a secret dinner organized after the success of his last film. An insider who attended that event claims Menglong left early, visibly shaken, muttering the words, "He looks at you like you're already gone." The hideout within the hideout. Days after Xi's arrest, a second raid was conducted, this time in Chengdu, at a property also linked to his company. Beneath the building, officers found a sealed metallic door. Behind it, a small soundproof room filled with equipment, microphones, recording consoles, and blood-stained cloth. The floor had a single word scrawled in red paint, "Suzui," atonement. Inside one of the drawers, they found a notebook written in Yumenglong's handwriting. The pages contained lyrics, unfinished film ideas, and cryptic lines like, "They record what I breathe, but not what I believe. If I disappear, look for the light inside the glass." Experts believe he was referring to the servers that later stored his digital clone. Fans turn investigators. When the revelations went public, Yumenglong's fans exploded with fury. Millions of users across social media platforms started cross-analyzing his interviews, movie credits, and even lighting patterns in his final projects. They discovered something bone-chilling. In several of his last appearances, Yumenglong's expressions seemed oddly delayed, as if his reactions had been manipulated post-production. Was he already under digital experimentation before his death? The fan group Light for Menglong compiled a 50-page document showing frame-by-frame comparisons. Their conclusion was horrifying. Some scenes from his final movie might not have been filmed by him at all. Xi's breakdown. On the fifth night in custody, Xi suffered a mental collapse. He began screaming uncontrollably, demanding that they turn off the lights. "He's watching through the lights," he cried. "He's not gone. He's in the system." Investigators noted that every time he said this, the room lights flickered. Once, the projector on his desk turned on by itself, displaying a frozen image of Menglong smiling directly at the camera. The officers who witnessed this refused to stay in that room again. Xi-Peng's name appears again. Just when it seemed the trail had gone cold, a new leak hit international news. A former member of the secretive Three Clans gave an anonymous testimony claiming that Sheepernung wasn't just tied to entertainment. He was part of a deeper political structure controlling the creative industry. He described a chain of power where sacrifice and success were ritualized, where promising stars were used as pawns to maintain influence and money. Menglong, the insider claimed, had discovered the truth too early. He threatened to expose it, and that's when the plan to silence him began. When asked if Xi was the killer, the insider laughed bitterly. "A killer? He's a tool. The real killers wear suits and smile on stage." The hidden message in his final song. Amidst the chaos, Yumenglong's final unreleased song resurfaced, a ballad titled "The Curtain Falls Slowly." It was leaked online for only 5 minutes before it vanished again. But those who heard it described it as hauntingly prophetic. One lyric stood out. "They'll keep my shadow standing tall, but it's not me that they control." Analysts confirmed the song used reverse sound layers. When played backward, a faint voice whispers, "Sheepernung will fall." The world had barely caught its breath from the hideout raid when another video began circulating online, a shaky, blurred clip filmed secretly from inside the interrogation room. No one knew who leaked it, but within minutes, it had reached every social platform under the tag #XiSpeaks. In the clip, Xi sat motionless in his chair, his hands cuffed, his face pale under the harsh, white light. The officers surrounding him fired question after question, but he only stared at the camera, his eyes hollow, his voice trembling when he finally whispered,
"He's not gone.
"He's right here, watching all of you." The room went silent. The lead investigator leaned forward, asking sharply, "Who is watching Xi-Peng?" He smiled weakly. "Yumenglong." Gasps echoed in the background. One of the officers switched off the recording, but by then the footage had already escaped, shared, duplicated, and dissected by millions. The second hideout. After the video leak, investigators were forced to move Xi into a more secure facility. But that same night, intelligence officers traced a signal pinging from the same coordinates of the first raid, a hidden second facility beneath the warehouse that everyone thought was already cleared. When authorities returned, they found a narrow staircase descending into an underground vault sealed by biometric locks. And on the metal door, written in black marker, were the chilling words, "Level 2, the Resurrection Lab." Inside were half-burnt hard drives, server racks still humming, and a large monitor displaying a paused video feed of Menglong, alive, smiling faintly, and saying, "If you're watching this, you've found the truth too late." Investigators froze. Was this part of the digital clone project? Or was this something Menglong had recorded himself before his death? A technician recovered the timestamp embedded in the file, and that's when everyone's heart stopped. The video had been created 3 hours after Menglong was officially pronounced dead. Xi-Peng's collapse. Back at the detention center, officers confronted Xi-Peng with the footage. For the first time, he broke. He slammed his fists against the table and screamed, "You think you stopped it? You didn't stop anything." His voice cracked, eyes wide, tears streaking down his face as he continued, "Sheepernung is not a name, it's a network. He's the shadow behind the lights. You can't catch him because he doesn't exist as one man." When asked what he meant, Xi laughed bitterly, almost hysterically. "He's everyone who wanted Menglong gone. Every hand that signed, every face that smiled for the camera. You think the killer hides in darkness? No, he hides in daylight." The investigators sat stunned. The heir of 3 clans revelation. As officers reviewed Xi-Peng's statements, forensic experts recovered another layer of encrypted data from the servers found in the hideout. When decrypted, it revealed an internal document titled, "The Bloodline Project, Heir of 3 Clans." It outlined an internal hierarchy of 3 powerful entertainment dynasties secretly running parts of China's film industry, each known publicly for their success, but privately connected through money laundering, blackmail, and covert talent trading. The project's purpose was horrifying: to create the next generation of controllable stars, actors bound by invisible contracts and personal secrets. Menglong had discovered the project while negotiating his own contract termination. His refusal to comply made him a liability and a target. And at the top of the document, the name appeared again. Sheepernung Project Overseer. The survivor witness. The biggest shock came when a survivor was brought in, a man who had worked as a junior technician in the warehouse. His identity was hidden under black cloth during questioning, but his trembling voice was clear. "He didn't die the way they said," the man whispered. "He was brought here to the lab. They said they needed one final recording, but he wouldn't cooperate." The technician claimed Menglong tried to escape, that he ran through the underground tunnel, bleeding, before collapsing near the outer gate. "They told us not to touch him. They just watched him on the monitors until he stopped moving." When the witness was shown a photograph of Xi-Peng, he shook his head. He wasn't in charge. The man giving orders wore a mask. He called himself Xi-Peng. Fan outrage and national chaos. Once these statements leaked, the internet exploded. Thousands of fans camped outside the court, holding candles and chanting Yumenglong's name. Hashtags like #ExposeXi-Peng and #JusticeForYumenglong trended worldwide for days. Some even claimed that the heir of 3 clans document named real production companies currently active in major global markets. Their logos, analyzed frame by frame, allegedly contained hidden symbols, signatures of the network. Protesters demanded the arrest of everyone connected to Xi-Peng's studio. Several celebrities who once worked with Menglong publicly deleted posts, afraid their names might surface next. The forbidden file. Meanwhile, investigators uncovered one last encrypted USB drive hidden beneath the lab floor. It was labeled YML Private Archive. After days of decryption, a single video file opened. It showed Menglong sitting in front of a mirror, wearing the same clothes seen in his last public event. His reflection looked tired, broken, but calm. "If you're watching this," he said, "then I didn't make it out. But you have to know the truth. They are not who they say they are. My manager, Xi-Peng, he's just the first domino." He paused, his voice soft but firm. "There are three who control it all. The air, the hand, and the shadow." He looked down for a moment, then back up at the camera. "Find Sheepeng, and you'll find the truth. But be warned, he doesn't live in darkness. He hides in plain sight." The video cut to static. A nation divided. Within hours, authorities classified the footage as confidential, but it was too late. Copies had already gone viral. Television stations debated whether to air it. Government officials refused to comment. Some news outlets even pulled down their websites after mysteriously technical outages. Rumors swirled that Sheepernung had fled the country. Others claimed he was never a person, but a codename for a group of 3 men from the clans. The last update came from a journalist who claimed to have located a private jet tied to one of the 3 companies in the leaked files. It took off from Shenzhen, bound for Switzerland, and the name on the flight log was blacked out except for one visible letter. P. Xi-Peng's final words. 2 days later, Xi-Peng was found unconscious again in his cell. Written in chalk on the floor were the same words investigators had seen before. "He's awake." When he finally opened his eyes, he stared at the camera and whispered, "You can destroy me, but not the program. He's still inside it." He then began humming softly, the melody of yumenglong's last unreleased song. The curtain falls slowly. The guards froze. The lights flickered once more. And for a brief moment, the surveillance monitor glitched, showing not Xi-Peng, but Menglong sitting in that same chair, looking directly into the camera, smiling. Then the image vanished. The deeper the world digs, the darker the truth becomes. Because this was never just about one man's death, it was about the empire built upon it. And the shadow called Sheepeng still walks free.